That's twisted.
Welcome to the twist with Mark and Rick. Always fun, always clicking the best way. Here to stay.
That's twisted.
Images of Josephine all over the place.
Stay tuned.
Accessible to people of all different
Yeah, you
levels.
know it's time to start. Tune in, let's play our part. Coming to you from the heart.
That's twisted.
Welcome to another Twist podcast, show 332. This is Mark McNeese here in a darkened living room because I gotta black out the windows a little bit to make it better visually. How are you doing, Rick Rose?
Good, but that puts you full frontage. You know what I mean? And you look great. Vibrant blue, still remnants of the 4th of July. Looks good.
Thank you. Plus, actually, I'm going to I got my journaling workshop, which I'm going to talk about shortly. And then there's a surprise birthday party for one of our hiking club women who's also a good friend of ours. She's 90 years old today, and she's a world traveler. She goes all over the place. It's like she's who you want to be at 90. You know, you don't want to be the people that we have in our Congress and Senate at 90 who are like maybe dead, maybe not. We're going to talk about that too. But Doris is great. She's not going to hear this, so I can say it. But she's in my journaling group, right? So yesterday we were having lunch after this hike, and it's like she said she's coming to the journaling group today, and great, wonderful. But she said she had to leave early because somebody was taking her to lunch, and I could not say a word. She's going to be shocked when she gets there, and I'm there. Isn't that wild? Now look at my coffee cup before we get into more stuff. I like this. This is one of my favorites. It's from Savannah from our road trip. I love it. I had to have it, and I have it.
Very colorful. Mine is from my friend Kelly. I think I've had it on the show before. Good morning, Kelly. I know she listens to us. This is when I did her wedding to her wonderful husband, Andy, and it says, "Other officiants look just like a horse, and I look like a unicorn."
It's a rainbow unicorn. I love that.
Yeah, it's so cute. So cute.
Now, I want to thank, speaking of rainbow unicorns and Savannah coffee cups, I got to thank our YouTube viewers. It's climbing up, folks. Watch us on YouTube.
Guys.
Like us, subscribe, get our numbers up. Spotify too, wherever you listen. If you can click that little like button, do it. Because it keeps.
And thank you for joining us.
We need encouragement in these dark times, Rick.
Yes, we do.
Now,
and I'm not putting a fence up around my house, okay? I guess that's the latest on Pennsylvania Avenue, some kind of security fence or something. I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, our nation's capital, it's like, I never went a lot anyways, but I have like zero interest in going to the Capitol, certainly while he's in the White House and probably afterwards, because he's trying to leave his mark. He's like a dog or a cat pissing on everything. He wants to leave his piss stain on everything he possibly can, because ain't nobody going to do it when he's gone, and a lot of it's going to be taken down. But anyways, I'm the happier because I got this T-shirt. It's not on now, but we went to Tractor Supply because we're country guys, country folks.
Yeah, you're like that. Yeah,
they had a T-shirt that said "No Bad Days," and it's fun. It's like a 1960s kind of design. It says "No Bad Days," and I had to have it because that's how I try to live. Right? There's a difference between no bad days and a fucked up world. There's only so much I can do about that second part. But anyways, it's been a nice quiet
control week. That which you can't control, Mark. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Control that which you can't control. Yes.
And change the things you can. My workshop, I just did a new workbook for my workshops, for my journaling workshops, because I've got a big one coming up in a couple of weeks at Pine Run Village in Doylestown. We're talking like 40 people. And I hate PowerPoints. I just can't stand them. And I don't do slides when I present because it distracts me. I don't want to pay attention to a slide. But then on the other hand, the Word, putting it in a Word document, I was doing that. I thought, no, I got to come up with something a little bit more classy, a little bit more Mark McNeese.
Classy.
So I made a workbook. I printed it on Kindle Direct Publishing. I just ordered 60 copies. It's only 26 pages, but it's the workshop as a workbook, really nice looking workbook that people can follow along. I'm so excited because I'm gonna even push harder on this. I got another workshop journaling in in August in the Bristol, Pennsylvania library. So I'm like pushing it, Rick. Oh, and I'm going to send it to cruise lines. See if I can get I could do
Nice.
a workshop presentation on a cruise, because they do them all the time. And you get, I think you get like a free cabin, and you get a free cruise out of it.
Oh, nice.
I think that's kind of it for me. I think I mentioned the deer ticks or the ticks the last time. Watch out for ticks, people. They're all over the place. And I'm a happy guy. I'm just happy.
Oh, that's good. Speaking of our coffee cups, that which is within it, which is coffee this morning, is really good for you. There was Wall Street Journal put together a study, a collective study of all these other studies. That's what a collective study is. It's a study of studies. You got it? Moving slow for a Friday. I got to get my brain going here, Mark. Need more coffee. Anyways, they talk about the benefits of coffee. Obviously, memorization and getting your head together is one of them. But, there's always this thing about, is coffee good for you? Isn't that good for you? It's really good for you, ultimately. So look it up. Great study.
Coffee's good for you. GLP-1s are good. Everybody tells me how thin I am, which, of course, I love that.
Well, we were talking last night with a group of friends talking about their GLP-1s and their adjustments they're making, because a lot of them have to microdose now because they're like you. They've used it. Now they're kind of calming down. And then they talk about the weekend was the 4th of July, so they drank a lot. Did that make them sick? Because, the benefits are more for, watching substance use. People are drinking less. So one of my good friends, Sky, who is works in the field of substance use, but also uses whatever they're called. She said that, and she's so well read, and she's read the studies over and over and over again. The anti-aging aspect. Now, I'm not saying do this. I'm not a doctor, but the anti-aging aspects of this, Mark, are phenomenal that we haven't even seen yet.
Oh, I bet that's why I look so good.
Well, of course it is.
That's why people say I look so good. I probably look 5 years younger.
I saw a picture of you on Facebook from 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know. I thought it was you. And I'm like, did he get big again? Sorry, it just took me out. Because your face looked so youthful, and it still looks youthful, but yet you don't have much face anymore like you used to. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean,
making sense.
Yeah, Ozempic face, even though it's not Ozempic, it's Zeba. But
it's there.
Yeah, where were we?
Are we on personal page? Are we on the personal page?
I talked about my personals. I'm just
jumped in. My last nephew on my brother's side got engaged to Courtney over the 4th of July weekend. So they're going to get married, which means all three of my brother's siblings are married. My sister's 2 kids, only one is not married, and that's Jordan. I think he'll be like me. He'll be a bachelor for life, I'm a bachelor for life. He's a bachelor for life. It's good. But that's going on. Hey, update on the dogs, the Richmond dogs. The rest are getting out soon, but the arrests were made last week. And Alexandra Powell, if you go back, Alexandra Powell was a actor on Baywatch, and Mark and I had an interview with her on the podcast. You could look it up. It was probably around show 300 or so. She was one of the rescuers that went in to get the dogs, and she was arrested and faces jail time and big fines. And she's been talking a lot about it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. On a good note, the college group from the University of Wisconsin, which is an animal rights activist group, they were being charged with organizing, felon-like behavior, and the school was coming down on them. I'm like, wait a minute, these are fresh minds that are trying to make a difference in the world, and now you're telling them that this is bad activity? Well, that was thrown out the other day, so I'm very, very proud of them. And they were able to use my last speech as a public elected, where I called on people just 2 days before the rescue to get out there and support the rescue. And they were able to use that as evidence and said, here's a public official telling the public and telling his colleagues to go do it. So I was very, very happy I could get out and do that. So that's good. Hey, Mark, one day you'll realize the most important people in your life are the ones waiting for your taking off text and your just landed text. Think about that. Those who you write. Isn't that beautiful when you think about it? Those are the people that matter the most to us.
If you fly a lot.
Well, that's true. I fly a lot, and I have a core group of people that I text to. I also text in the morning, and I didn't realize how much it meant to people until the other day people were talking. My friend Donna had mentioned it. She's like, people just forget me, but you text me every single morning. And then my friend Amy was saying, you're a true friend. You text me every morning. That's not the sign of a friendship, but what does it take when you're texting all day for business? You're texting all day for weather reports or news items, whatever. How great is it that you can text those you love? It may take 5 minutes every morning to just say, good morning, love you, have a good day. You know what I mean? So
I do, but I got two little add-ins there. One is I've said many times I leave my phone in the kitchen at night. Like at 7 o'clock, my phone is not within reach. But sometimes I forget to mute it. I like to mute it because I don't like the sound. I don't like a phone ring. I don't like alerts. I hate all that crap. But anyways, don't text at night. I don't get it. Like people sending you a text at 9 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. No, I'm not gonna. I don't know why people do that. And then the other thing is group texts. I've said that before too. I don't like them.
They're hard to manage. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I know you can drop out of it, but then they think you don't like them and all this other shit. Like I do not like group texts because everybody replies to everybody.
Then people are constantly saying, whose phone number is 608? They're texting you on the side. Who's this number? I'm like, I don't know. Figure it out. Type it in the Google search. They'll tell you.
The little morning text is nice. I like that. Think about it. Send me one sometime, Rick.
Oh, I did the other day. Didn't you see that? Weren't you surprised? It was a midday text. And I thought you'd think, I wonder if you want something, because truth be told, you're one of my best friends in the world, one of my longest friends, and I don't text you that way. I just text you when I need you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember you texted back Islamic Republic of
Japan. Yeah.
And I had to look it up. I didn't realize that he had blundered and stated that. He who will remain nameless on this show. He was putting a fence up around the
he does all kinds of demented shit, and the media just like moves on. They don't cover it. And it's infuriating because they ran Biden out of office for getting one thing wrong. But anyways, ready for
hey, I'm bringing it back just today. That's how we used to do our transitions.
What's weird though, Rick, is that you can't hear it.
Really?
No, you can't hear it. There's something about our microphones that it filters it out. You can't hear the bell.
Even this one?
No, you cannot hear it. That's that's
you can't. You gotta watch us.
I'm not.
You gotta watch us because you can. I know. I trust you. I can hear it, but I'm using it on my end. Weird. We used to use a bell, folks, to transition our segments, and thought I'd pull that out and surprise Mark. But guess what? Because he's watching us on YouTube, he was able to understand the joke. Good job, Mark.
Yeah, I got it. You ready for some news?
I am.
Get ready for the news, but with a twist.
Twist. The story's got a twist.
You won't believe what you just missed.
Okay. This just in this morning. Trump, and I always think it's the Heritage Foundation. I've said that before. All you see in the news is like Trump did this and Trump did that. It's Heritage Foundation. It's Russell Vogt. It's all these people trying to lock their shit into place before this old fart bag, just collapses. But Trump fired all the commissioners on the Election Commission, which was set up in 2002 to help states manage their elections and provide guidance. It's nonpartisan. It's about helping states that, like on the latest rules and all this stuff. And of course they fired them. And I really try not to get sucked into distress or whatever, but it's like, how do you win an election if they make sure you can't? And that's what this is all about. It's all about either invalidating the midterms or getting, millions of people who can't vote. It's about denying a majority of voters in this country their will. So that was upsetting to me, but I also knew it was in the works. It's not like this happened overnight. They planned this shit. And then the Supreme Court says, oh, go ahead. You can fire anybody you want to. I think it's all coordinated. Clarence Thomas was seen smirking his way around Congress a couple weeks ago, and people thought he was like giving them a heads up that they were going to get rid of birthright citizenship. I don't think so. I think he was like, say, the fix is in. By the way, I did not know that the land of the rising sun was known as the Islamic Republic of Japan. And every time Trump does this crap, he does it a lot. He's got aphasia. He's got all this mental shit going on that if you listen to experts talk about it, and not from a I hate Donald Trump standpoint, but from a medical standpoint, the man's got aphasia. He's got flaxasia. He's got all these Asias going on in his head. And the media just like ignores it because we have been conditioned for 10 years to think anything this man says is like just Trump being Trump. No, it's just Alzheimer's being Alzheimer's. And unfortunately, the whole country is paying the price for this. Mitch McTurtle is maybe dead, maybe not. Everybody seemed to have like talked to him for 20 minutes. Did you notice that the other day?
Yes,
And,
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Yeah. By the way, Scott Jennings, they should all be held accountable because they're lying. But Scott Jennings on CNN said on air that he talked to Mitch McConnell that morning. If it proves to be a lie, which I'm quite sure it is, he needs to be terminated immediately. Fucking immediately. The Trump curse, I mean, it's all about Trump. I can't help it. His curse continued with the USA football team, soccer team losing. And I told people the next time he gets behind a sports event or a team, I'm putting $5,000 on the opponent because they're going to lose. Whoever Trump supports loses. And I think that's kind of it for the headlines. There's just so many. And this poor guy I got to mention this too. This gentleman in Houston, I believe it was, who was murdered by ICE. It was murder, in my opinion. They murdered Alex Preddy.
Man, I just saw that. Oof.
They absolutely murdered Alex Preddy. He was on his back. He did not have his gun in his hand. They killed him, and they're never gonna fucking be charged with it. And this thing in Houston is horrible. I mean, it's a Mexican national. They've been in this country for 35 years, legally, work permit, all this stuff. And he gets killed by ICE, and they immediately say he was trying to run him over with a car, which he wasn't. And I read just this morning that the other men in the car want to testify. They want to say he wasn't trying to hit them, and now so ICE is trying to get him out of the country, like deport them to Mexico before they can testify. And I gotta add this in, then I'll shut up. On Facebook, because I told you I'm a troll on Facebook sometimes for the Trump supporters. Like some lady said, thank you, President Trump, for whatever ICE was doing. And I said, for the war in Iran. She said, thank you, President Trump. And I said, maybe you should thank the families of the 13 service members who died for absolutely no reason. And when this shit happens with ICE, I see all these people going like, all you have to do is follow the law and you won't get killed. All you have to do is follow the law and you won't get killed. It's like this knee-jerk bullshit reaction from the supporters of this crap. And, well, you know what? Ashley Babbitt didn't follow the law, and she got shot in the eye. And they turned her into a martyr. She's a MAGA martyr, and her family got $6 million of taxpayer money. So, they don't watch the video. They don't read the investigation. They just come out and immediately said, well, if you follow the law, you won't get shot. And by the way, then I'm going to shut up. I swear I am. Think for one moment of yourself in a situation like that is happening now. There's no time to think. You don't know what's going on. You got people coming at you. You got guns pointed at you. You got people screaming at you. Are you going to just say, oh, I better follow the law? Or is your body going to kick in? Is your biology going to kick in?
Right. That you can't control.
They never think about that. They never consider that. It's just like a bunch of criminals, and all they have to do is follow the law. So, I said I wasn't going to use the F word so much, but F every single one of them. Your turn.
Yeah. And I mean, good police officers, good people doing that work. And I wouldn't even say, ICE is a different beast, right? It's not even about public protection, but you get trained in those responses on how to handle adrenaline rush, right? So like even those that are doing things that, on the good side because of adrenaline rush, there are more people doing bad things because of adrenaline rush and kicking in and doing things. It's just not good. On my news, I'm going to switch to a food item. Yes, this is a real thing, Mark. Pringles just launched a limited edition line of potato-based hot dog buns in 3 flavors. So it's actually the bun. It can come in sour cream and onion, barbecue, or honey mustard. They timed it to come around the release of National Hot Dog Day, which was this week, and also to finish up summer grilling season. The idea is that instead of a plain bun, you get one infused with Pringles seasoning to transform any boring hot dog into an incredibly delicious pop dog. That's what they're calling them, a pop dog. But the weird thing is they package them in the Pringle cans, which I think is a waste of money, like 1 per can. So you're spending like $2 a bun. But I think it was really interesting, which led me to some fun facts. We missed those this morning because I don't think you didn't have them.
No, I do have them. Right? They come after the news. We switch things around.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So that was my tease. Some good Wisconsin fun facts. Lost order again. My brain isn't quite there. Also in the news, I want to give a couple of updates. Past shows, news items, things we talked about. One is Louise Lasser. Remember, Mark, we talked about her not too long ago. Mary Hartman, she passed last week. You know, she was a decidedly quirky performer, best known for her title role, 325 episodes of the Norman Lear soap opera, Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. She was married to Woody Allen for 4 years. I guess I didn't know
that was weird. I didn't know that till I read it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's sad.
Like
we did talk about
16
Madonna over the. Yeah, very young. Well, that makes sense. Tracks. Madonna, we talked about her coming out with a new album. Well, it was launched last week, Confessions 2. She's on course for her first UK #1 album in more than a decade. Very, 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 very excited for her. We've talked about Cher in the past. This is big news. Is Cher finally joining Wednesday on Netflix? Yes, the TV series Wednesday.
Wow.
There are rumors. Yes, kind of some rumors dropped on the Drew Barrymore show. Questions were asked to Catherine Zeta-Jones. She would play, get this, Eudora Adams. Wouldn't that be fun?
I was just thinking she'd make a great Morticia. She's a little old for that, but she'd make a great, like, Morticia's grandmother or something. I don't know.
Is that who Eudora is? I don't know.
No. I'm just saying, Cher, her look. She'd make a great Morticia.
Well, that's what I mean. She'd be perfect for it. In queer news, although I don't think it has to necessarily be queer news, a man was admitted to the hospital last week with 25 plastic toy horses inserted in his rectum.
Oh, you think that's
doctors have decided his kid? No, you must watch the new Toy Story 5. But doctors have decided his condition is stable.
Oh, you're so funny with your setups. I actually saw that.
Mark Goldstein.
No, I saw that.
Mark Goldstein.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Oh, Mark, one of our listeners posted, and I thought it was funny as heck. A couple other news stories I find interesting. This groom passed out notes and envelopes during his wedding speech. The contents emptied the room in 30 seconds. Yes. So he took the time to pass out notes to everybody and then ask everybody to open the envelopes before he gave his speech. And in the envelope, it said, "Hey, the wedding's over. I'm glad you all enjoyed this meal because I wanted to at least get you a good dinner out of it. My wife's been sleeping with the best man." So he went through the whole thing knowing he could divorce. Wanted to still carry through the wedding. Yes, I love it. But good for him. I think that's a unique. And then I know you're going to talk about it later, but I'm going to tease this. There's a new ice cream I've heard about called Jenny's Ice Cream. It's not new. It's been around forever. It's, I think, out of Ohio. They have some really unique flavors. I love this. Unique flavors. You know me. I love my food stuff. So strawberry pretzel pie is being added to their line, as is hibiscus chili punch. And then lastly, campfire s'mores. S'mores are trending right now. I don't know if you've seen s'mores coffee at Starbucks, s'mores candy bars, s'mores everything.
I was never a fan. I don't even like the real ones.
Really? Not a s'mores fan?
Huh? What? I'm not a messy.
What is it you don't like? Oh, the messy part.
I don't like messy food.
You like marshmallow?
I don't like cracking open crabs to eat them. I'll eat a crab cake, but I don't like getting my food all over the damn.
The mess. Crawfish would not be your thing.
Mud bugs? No.
No mud bugs. But do you like marshmallow? Do you like the idea of marshmallow combined with graham crackers combined with chocolate?
I like them. Yes. Yeah. It's fine. It's all right. I'm not. One of
my favorite
marshmallows
things.
Are not like they. I don't get off on marshmallows. They're okay.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like the messiness of it either. I have people that'll eat them all summer long, but I do like a good marshmallow hot fudge malt when I go to an ice cream store. Good combination. But yep, that's all I got. That's my news.
Okay, fun facts, which does not have its own musical introduction. Perhaps we will resolve that. Mine are about Kentucky, because I've got Kentucky on my mind. 17 square miles of Kentucky sit completely cut off from the rest of the state, which I did not know, attached instead to Tennessee. Thanks to an old surveying error along the Mississippi River, only a handful of people live there, and it's a 40-mile drive just to reach the rest of Kentucky. Middlesboro is the only city in the United States built inside a meteor crater. That's Middlesboro, Kentucky. The whole town sits within the impact site of an ancient meteor strike. There's a museum in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, called the Vent Haven Museum, and dedicated to ventriloquist dummies. Can you imagine? That would be definitely on my list if I were going that way. The world's first enamel bathtub was manufactured in Louisville. Now, we all know Louisville. Back in 1856, so we can thank Louisville for the enamel bathtubs. And then a Kentucky cavalry captain named Martin Van Buren Bates stood about 7 feet 2 inches tall. He was so tall that his feet reportedly dragged on the ground when he rode on horseback.
Whoa.
And after the war, he met a woman who was even taller than he was. Can you imagine?
Can you?
Wow. Your turn.
I can't imagine. Mine is just some food items. This is a fun fact. Remember when Hershey's syrup came in cans?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You would mix it with milk. You could make like a little malted milk.
Yeah. And now it's in the squirt bottle. But I swear to God, it still came in cans. And then I read it didn't. Do you know the last year it came in a can? This isn't a joke.
1972.
1979. I
Really?
can't believe that.
Wow.
I feel like I maybe went out in the 2010s or something, but
Yeah. That's a
I haven't
long time
seen-
ago.
that's when I was 14. It just shows how powerful your mind is at that age.
Yeah.
Also, a fun fact. Do you remember Burger Chef restaurants?
No.
They were kind of in the Midwest. They were really the ones that were going to become the McDonald's of the world. And McDonald's really kind of took all their ideas. Burger Chef was the one actually that created Happy Meals. Burger Chef created a lot of things that
Really?
McDonald's went on.
This is wrong. That's just wrong.
I know. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. It changed. Now McDonald's is working on bringing those playgrounds back. Did you know that? Remember they removed them all. Now they're bringing them all back. It's funny. My mom was telling me, the franchise, corporate really requires a lot of franchisees. So McDonald's came in Eagle River, Wisconsin, which is rare. We never really had, franchise restaurants or fast food restaurants, maybe 5 to 8 years ago. And they're already required to tear down and build a new one because the new footprints of them won't fit on that space, the new requirements. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes at a fast food restaurant. And then 2 other things I find really interesting. You know me, Wisconsin pride. The Wisco pizza oven is the most popular oven. Whenever you go to a little bar or little tavern, you know how you order a bar pizza and it's just whatever local pizza they have, they just fire up for you. Those little ovens that they have in those little places, or they also have at, gas stations and stuff. Those are all made in Wisconsin. It's called the Wisco pizza oven. It was created in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is the #1 state for frozen pizzas. We've talked about that on the show before. So something to be proud of. And then also broaster chicken. Have you ever had broasted chicken? You probably not ever have it, have you?
No.
Roasted chicken. So it's like roasted and broiled at the same time. It's called broasted chicken. I grew up with it, so I assumed everybody knew broasted chicken. And we as kids were like, what's the difference between fried and broasted? Well, it's different. It's a different process. And the actual broaster comes out of Beloit, Wisconsin, where I teach school and where I graduated. But 2 items, kind of interesting this and that fun facts that may be in your life every day that you didn't know came from Wisconsin. So that's all I got, Marky.
I like it.
Fun. Just fun.
We're ready for the news. I'm just looking for answers to our last question at the end of it.
Last question. While you're doing that, real quick, shout out to Craig. Craig, who I talked about on our last show. I'm going to have him as a guest on radio, on our podcast soon. But anyway, Craig's listening. Hey, Craig, good morning. And Maria, she's always listening. I met Maria through Craig. So a couple shout outs while you're looking for that info.
Hi,
Find
Craig.
it? Did you find it?
Okay, here we go. Now, here we go.
It's a hit.
My hit is Yasso ice cream.
Yes.
Because I don't believe in
Yasso.
deprivation. Yasso, Yasso. I do not believe in deprivation. I think because sometimes, for years now, it's like, well, I'm going to stop eating sweets and I'm not going to have dessert and blah, 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 blah. But I've lost 40 pounds and moderation really is a big part of it. And like when I go out to eat, I'll just take half of the food home and have it the next day. I do not clean my plate off much of the time. But for dessert, I can have desserts. It's, I just don't eat something that's 800 calories or 1200 calories. I try not to. And one of my favorites is Yasso. It's not really ice cream. It's frozen yogurt. And I got my little thing. Well, they also make bars, but I like to get the pints because they can be as low as 340 calories for the whole pint. Not
crazy.
just like a couple of spoonfuls. At about 100 calories or 5 grams of protein. It's a guilt-free snack that doesn't taste like a compromise. And of course, the bunch of flavors. They come in salty, sea salt caramel. Everybody loves chocolate fudge, mint chocolate chip. No, I do not like mint. There are only a couple of flavors that I don't like in this world.
I know. I recall this. I recall
Mint,
this.
I don't
Calm
like
down.
mint.
Calm
Please
down.
don't.
Calm
Please
down.
don't.
It's okay.
No, don't put
Please,
mint in
calm
front
down.
of me.
No
It's gonna be
granny.
an issue.
No.
Now
no
I can eat
s'mores.
the herb mint. If the herb mint is put into something, or even some kind of beverage that has a little sprig of mint in it, that's okay. But I can't stand chocolate mint. And I'm not a big fan of lemon. I like lemon scrub. I just got some Dr. Teal's, my favorite lemon scrub. But I don't like, and I like it on fish. But like lemon desserts, lemon ice cream, no, don't like it at all. I like lemonade. But
No
anyways,
lemon meringue? No lemon meringue?
no, I don't even like meringue. It's weird. I don't like it. But that's my hit. My hit for my hit list is that Yasso ice cream, man. If you're looking for a nice way to have some some dessert after your meal and not feel like you gotta up your dose of Zep Bound, get some Yasso ice cream.
I love it. And yeah, it's not just any frozen yogurt, it's Greek yogurt. And you are right, the bars were the most popular thing, but now that they're putting them in pints, people are loving it. It is trending. The food critic on the show, myself.
Well, and France got some food stuff today too, but go ahead.
Why'd you have to bring his name up?
Oh,
I know we love him, but I'm a little envious of his last review. It was way better than my review. So,
okay, go for it.
There's a little gay rivalry.
What do you got for our hit
okay.
list? Right?
Okay. Prance, don't leave based on that comment. You can stick around. My recommendation is Uruguay. Go and support this country. It's situated, everyone talks about Argentina and Brazil, but almost nobody talks about the quiet country wedged between them, which is exactly why it works. It legalized civil unions in 2008, same-sex adoption in 2009, both first in Latin America, then marriage in 2013, and one of the most progressive trans rights laws on earth was passed in 2018. A lot of queer travelers feel they can go there. It's considered by America's Quarterly, which is a magazine, called the most LGBTQ-friendly country in this region back in 2016, and nothing since has argued against that. So going there, supporting their economy because they support their people, I think is great. Also, no crowds, no fuss, no need to check the laws before you book. Going there, just South America with the volume turned down. It's really, really a great travel destination. I suggest you go and do it. I also want to say, shout out to Wisconsin's DMV. It's a great recommendation, is a way to get your registration. I don't know. Do they do this in Jersey or elsewhere? You know, you have kiosks, how to make a key, or you can go get a Pokemon card at the kiosk as you're walking in the grocery store, your lottery card, everything comes out of the kiosk anymore. In Wisconsin, Mark, we have the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, where you can go and do your registration. The registration sticker comes right back at you instead of having to send it in the mail. Isn't that cool? I think it's very cool.
No, it's very
cool. And then two last recommendations. I know that was a little weird one, but I recommend you check out, see what comes in a vending machine anymore. Although keys now, Mark, are like $7 to get a key. So I don't know. My niece told me about a cool restaurant in Las Vegas. She was just out there with her boys. They've never, I think, taken an air trip, and they're in high school. They've never air traveled, and she took them out there with her husband, and they had a great time. They went to Super Frico's, SUPERFICO. It's a great little Italian kind of restaurant. It's big, it's showy. Like there's acrobatics going on, there's everything going on, and they're known for their cheese pull. It's table side, just like a Caesar salad or bananas Foster, but it's a cheese pull. They take mozzarella cheese, put it in this thing, and pull it and pull it and pull it until it becomes this beautiful, lovely ball to eat. So that's my recommendation when you go to Vegas, based on my niece Stephanie's recommendation to me, called Super Frico. Love the name. And then lastly, get this, Lady Gaga, I got to get her in. Get ready, because I'm going to recommend it sight unseen. She hired the director of Eras, which was the tour of Taylor Swift, made into a movie, right? So Taylor Swift did the tour, then they made Eras the movie. Well, Lady Gaga has done it. She is going to release this movie in the fall. It'll be in a cinema near you. It was all taped at the Kia Forum over a week, or maybe 3 or 4 performances during that week down in Los Angeles. And it's going to be based on her latest album. So, yes, very excited that Lady Gaga is coming out with a movie concert.
Very excited.
That's it.
Well, Prance has got something. He's going to be in the food vein. And my final question is going to be about food. So here we go.
Go France.
Prance Thunderbottom here on one of my favorite topics, the delicious fun of TV's cooking shows. From PBS's The Great American Recipe to the Food Network's The Great Food Truck Race, I watch them all for the same reasons you do. It's not the food. Nobody's binging a baking show for technique. You're watching because someone's about to have the worst day of their life in an apron. That's the whole appeal. Stress, disguised as entertainment, with a hug of nostalgia on the side. Which brings me to Worst Cooks in America. This is not a cooking show. It's a hostage situation with a garnish. Grown adults who cannot be trusted with a knife, two celebrity chefs quietly recalculating their life choices, someone serving raw chicken like it's a personality trait, and the chefs do this soft, hostage negotiator voice. That's an interesting choice for a roux. No, it isn't. It's a crime. But somewhere around week 8, someone who couldn't boil water makes something that doesn't make a chef flinch, and it gets you every time. That's the trick. They get you invested in people who can't cook, just to make you cry when they finally can. Lowbrow entertainment? Absolutely.
That bugs my ass.
I'm sorry. We got to finish up. I'm sorry, Prince.
Absolutely. Watching next season? Already on my calendar. See you in the cafeteria line. This is Prance Thunderbottom exclusively for the Twist podcast.
Now I got to my big apologies. I was queuing up the next sound, and it jumped in there. So I'm sorry. My apologies to Prance.
But it made sense because he was getting a little worked up, giving us a great recommendation. He's so witty. He's so funny. I do love him.
He is funny, and we're on the same page in a lot because Frank and I are hooked on Food Network shows. We watch them all the time. And when one is over, we start another one. So we just started The Worst Cooks in America. And the only thing I'll say is that it's kind of sad because that was always Ann Burrell's show. Chef Ann Burrell. And she killed herself earlier this year. I think it was this year. She committed suicide. So it's weird for me to watch it knowing that that was her vehicle. But it's fun. And Tiffany is really good. Tiffany Derry. And I can't remember Jeff somebody is the guy host. But anyways, I love my cooking shows.
Yes. Yes, girl.
And now we're on to...
That bugs my ass.
Okay, here's what bugs me. Because I listen to the Midas Touch podcast. I think that's a good example for what bothers me. And it's hosts pitching their products, because their sponsors pay them to pitch these products. But they pitch it as if they use them, and I know they don't. This has been going on forever, and I have nothing against advertisements. The Twist has advertisements, 2 in the front and 2 in the end. At least the audio edition does. But I know that, an example is Tushy Bidet, right? So one of the 3 Midas brothers, because I love the Midas Touch podcast, he's always doing these products like he uses them, and he'll say, my bottom never felt so good until I started using the Tushy Bidet, and he doesn't use it, and he doesn't use these energy drinks that boost your testosterone and all this other crap. And I wish they would pimp the products without pretending that they use them. So that's what bugs me. See, you walked away too soon, man, because now it's your turn, and you're not there.
Yes, I was I was in the restroom using my Tushy stuff, whatever you're talking about.
I don't even know how bidet works. I don't want to know on this show. I'm going to watch a YouTube. There's got to be somebody showing me how, because I just don't get the whole wet ass thing. I don't get it, but I'm going to research it. But anyways, the Ben Midas, he doesn't use a Tushy. He doesn't use it. So don't tell me.
Mark and Rick don't use it either. But I do have one because I got it installed during the toilet paper crisis of 2020, right? And so I used to do these dinner parties, quick side story, and people would come over. It was a core group, right? We had the core people that got us through COVID together. We always did a Thursday night gathering. One of my friends found out I had a bidet, and she would disappear during the dinner party and use I have a powder room downstairs on this floor. She could powder down here. She chose to power wash upstairs instead of using in the powder room. So to this day, every time I see her, I think of her as Bidet Brenda. Oops, I just used her name.
Oh my
But
God.
she likes the bidet.
But it's kind of like Brenda Bidet, BB. It's alliterative. I like that.
This is funny. I'm not going to hashtag her. We don't want her to
Don't
know.
tell her. Don't let her find out some other way.
So my booze, you know what? Like Shout, laundry detergent, spray, blah, 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 or glass window washer. So you save money because you buy the small one, to use it. And then you buy the refill thing, which is bigger, and you pour it in and get it all over. So whatever. Why don't they make the holes the same? Like, in other words, I don't understand. I don't understand why is the one hole of the refill bigger than the small hole that you're trying to pour it in? Make it the same size. So all you gotta do is turn off the top and put the top on a new one.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
Bigger. So I don't get it. It bugs my ass. The other thing I saw this morning is this trend on pasta in a window, or sometimes it's called noni in a window. It's over in Italy, where, the big trend right now, and we've talked about in the show. I think I did not recommend people to watch the show about nonis on Netflix, but it ain't real, dudes. They're hiring actors and they're hiring prep chefs. They're not actually actors, but prep chefs to pretend they're nonis. And in all these little touristy areas, because they're having a problem with people coming into local restaurants, they've touristed it, right? They made it more touristy. So they see these nonis in Rome making this pasta, fresh pasta, and every fucking stupid American wants to go in and have this pasta. Well, in Rome, most of their cuisine is based on dry pasta. There's a process that, somewhat pasta is good, but really it's the idea of drying it and then undrying it that makes it have its flavor. So don't get sucked into it. I think there's a big New York Times article on it, actually, Mark, about that trend, and it bugs my ass. And then lastly, the Emmy Awards came out this week, and they were pretty exciting. But having grown up working in television, right? I worked for Lorimar, then for Warner Brothers. I worked for soap operas, NBC, ABC, CBS. I saw the day of the soap opera of like 15 soaps on air, going down to 5 or whatever we have now. Network television, boo, shame on you. You just mentioned Food Network, good cable series, then all the good streaming series on Netflix, etc., etc. It's like, of all the nominations, Mark, I don't think 1 or 2 of them were really in NBC, ABC, or CBS. Isn't that just absolutely ridiculous? Yeah. The only one that fared well was Bad Bunny's halftime show. Got more Emmy Award nominations. Yay, Bad Bunny. Got 9 Emmy nominations, more than any other halftime show got Emmy Award nominations for. So, I just so disappointed in the national networks, That's all. Those are my boos.
CBS, we don't watch CBS anymore, except for Matlock. And
Why, are you mad at CBS or just...
CBS is the Barry Weiss thing. I know you don't pay attention to news.
No, I know why.
The right, Ellison, they took over CBS. They ruined it.
Yep.
It's basically Fox, whatever.
I wanted you to remind our listeners why.
Yeah, no, CBS, they destroyed it. Okay, now we're ready for some wisdom of Joe to lift us up.
And by the way, just real quick, she always lifts us up, and I use the F word. I'm very sorry. We almost got through another show without the F word, but I got a little work done.
We're getting there.
Here's Joe.
We got to set an example for the kids.
We do.
Okay.
The cure for boredom is curiosity. You can't pour from an empty cup, but you can ask for a refill. We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are.
Now, this week, I got a favorite. It was the last one because, like I said, I got that T-shirt that I'm going to wear it next time if I remember. No bad days. I love it. It plays into, or it works into that last thing she said about we see things as we are. And I think that's really, 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 really true for all of us, for libtards, for maggots, even though I don't like calling them maggots because I think that's like just crossing the line for me. But for MAGAs, we all see things as we are. We tend to see things through a worldview that's already been determined. So I really like that last one.
I do too. I think it speaks volumes to social media. I had the pleasure. I went down to Beloit to have a faculty lunch, which they do in the middle of summer to keep us all kind of connected. And then I went and watered my plants. Didn't lose any of them. A couple of them I had to rescue and bring back here because I only get down in the summertime every 3 weeks or so. So I went to see Joe. I mentioned on the show last week, and I'm giving you a little update, Mark. She is not faring well, and we had a very real conversation about what it feels like to be in your final, round, so to speak. And she's back in the hospital. So let's just keep her in our thoughts. She does brighten our day, and she will always brighten our day. And just here's for all of you that want to put out some good thoughts and prayers for Joe, because she needs them right now. So that's all.
Okay, we're at our final question. You posed it last week. It was, and we didn't get a lot of responses. I don't know why, but we're transparent on the twist, right? We're family friendly.
Well, probably because I wrote the question. I'm not good. I'm not good at these. Yes.
Maybe you want Prance to do it. I don't know. But the question was, what
Prance is going to be our new question guy. Yes. Okay.
What TV show would you reboot that hasn't already been rebooted? We got. My response was Soul Train. I love Soul Train. Plus,
oh my God, that's hilarious.
Now that we're in the whole anti-DEI, anti-woke era of this fascist regime, I would love to see those afros and that dance line, man, coming at you, indoctrinating Americans' kids. I would love to see that again. Charlie, our super stan Charlie, Pushing Daisies, and I don't remember ever seeing it. He loved the show.
Oh my God, that's a good show.
I don't remember it, but I could name a bunch of them. I would bring back Raising Grace, which was with Martha Plimpton. I loved that show. We didn't get a lot of responses, Rick. I don't know why.
Well, I don't know. I went way deep on this one. I'm going to try to find it real quick. I kind of teased it online. Gilligan's Island. Would that be fun?
Oh, really? A reboot?
And I was
that would be really interesting.
Well, think about it. It could be like a reboot, a revamp of it, but it could also be kind of reality TV mixed away with it. So I'm calling mine Castaway Sessions. The setup mirrors the original. A group boards a 3-hour tour that goes sideways, but instead of a boat, it's a private jet, right? Modernize it. Chartered for a one-night only pop-up festival on a remote island, flying out a handful of A-list artists for a surprise concert. And so the new professor would be played by Troye Sivan, right? Thoughtful, a little nerdy, cool. Marianne Summers would be played by Olivia Rodrigo. She's down to earth, the girl next door charm, right? Good. Ginger Grant, Dua Lipa, glamorous starlet vibe, right? Lovey Howell would be played by Lizzo, right? Glamorous, stealing everything. And then her partner playing Thurston Howell III would be Bruno Mars.
I got a different opinion on that. I think Elon Musk should be Mr. Howell. And in the song, they could say the trillionaire and his he'd have like 6 wives.
That's a good one.
And 23 kids.
No, I was keeping it all music, but I do like that. Jack Harlow would be my Gilligan. Goofy charm, comedic timing. And the skipper would be played by, get this, Post Malone. Big, affable energy, could totally pull off.
He's too thin, man. You need somebody fat for that. I'm sorry.
I know. We need a big boy. Well, we can put him in a fat suit. Remember when we put Michael in a fat suit?
Oh, yeah. For Ben
Oblimpy.
And
that was a cool fit.
I just lost my train of thought. It had to do with Elon Musk.
Well, then, but
I know.
Real quick, while you're getting your attention. Okay, hold it. A slow burn subplot where they write an original song together over the season, and then that becomes the show's actual theme song in season 2. What do you think?
Right, and they use AI to do it. They do it with AI, like all the hit songs now. And now, one thing I got to say, it's not related to this, okay? But there's like this surge of refugees being allowed into the country. They're all white South Africans, and it really pisses me off. I don't want to hear any more people bitching about immigrants from Mexico or Nigeria or Haiti or any of this shit when they're letting like thousands of these fucking white South Africans into this country. If you're a white South African immigrant and you're near me, don't tell me that, because I'm going to tell you to get the fuck out. There's my one F word. All right. I don't have a quote. It's crazy. I don't have a. Oh, my final question. It's for me.
We got question and quote, because I have some quotes, but yes, questions.
My final question, and has to do with the theme of food shows, and Yasso. What is your favorite guilt-free snack? Now, if you don't feel guilty eating a pint of ice cream and half a chocolate cake, say it. But
Do it.
But I'm just going to throw one example out there, and I'm not going to use it as my answer. I love to, because I said it's moderation. We will get chocolate-covered pretzels, and I will give Frank 2, and I will have 2, and I will say, you get 2 chocolate-covered pretzels. That's it. And I nibble them. I take little
You
tiny
are
bites.
hilarious.
No, but I take little tiny bites, and that
Are
way.
they the little mini twists, or are they a full-size pretzel?
No, it's a pretzel. Well, it's not a giant. It's a pretzel. It's not a little tiny thing. No, I'm not
good,
that,
because
I'm
that
not
would not
that
be fair.
rigid, but just regular sized chocolate covered pretzels, and you nibble them. That's the secret, people. Nibble. Now, what's your quote?
Well, I want to give away my answer to that already. It's corn. Corn's my favorite food. Corn is often my password when it says, "What's your favorite food?"
That's a snack.
I love corn. Yes, it's a snack for me. I will literally take. So my friend Michelle brings me fresh corn from Iowa, and it's amazing. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. She brought the first of the year. I have corn. This is weird, on my cupboard, and when I want a snack, I peel off the green because you don't eat the skin or whatever it's called. What is that? The
husk.
rind? What is
it's called a husk?
Husk. And I eat the corn like this as a snack. I don't even cook this shit. Yes.
My partial right finally fits. I had it adjusted for the 6th.
I know, looks nice.
Now, what's your quote? So we got to move on.
I got a couple quick ones. Speaking of friends and that morning call, reminding people that morning text can be meaningful. Mary Toma, who's been a guest of ours on the show, you know Mary from Shreveport, North Colorado. She said, "Let's just decide to age like fine wine together, shall we?" It really hit me right because, I'm always talking about the challenge of getting older. And she just said, fine wine, let's do it together. And then my friend Alan, who used to be the publisher of Shreveport Times, who I just adore, on his LinkedIn now, he's my age, so he's just doing weird jobs in his retirement. He calls himself a cheap problem solver, right? He said, when you have a daunting physical or mental task, the first step or first shovel might be tough. Then you just keep going, visualizing what it's feel like when it's done. Often finishing is more satisfying than you could have ever imagined, especially the last pull of the rake. Like anything, getting things done is just a function of getting started. And I couldn't agree more. And then my final quote was posted by a very dear friend of mine, Melissa, who lives in Detroit. And, we're talking about like all the comments we've made today about ICE and stuff. And, we still got to remember women in this country are still faced with attacks and that we have just resigned and we've worked around choice issues for their health, but it's still an issue. And this is a quote actually from Danielle Coffin, Coffyn. It says, if Adam picked the apple, there would be a parade, a celebration, a holiday to commemorate the day he sought enlightenment. We would not speak of temptation by the devil. Rather, we would laud Adam's curiosity, his desire for adventure and knowing. We would feast on apple-inspired fare, torts, chutneys, pancakes, pies. There would be plays and songs reenacting his courage. But it was Eve who grew bored, weary of her captivity in Eden, and a woman's desire for freedom is rarely a cause for celebration.
Oh, I love that. That's really cool. I do have a quote because I did think about it earlier. It wasn't last second, but it came back to me. And my quote is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We would live in a completely different world if people actually did that. If you don't want some ICE guy shooting you through the car window, don't support it. Don't support it. If you don't want all this cruelty going on in the world done to you or your family, don't support it. So do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We will never live up to it, but it is something to aspire to. Thank you, everybody. You rock. Like us on YouTube. Listen to us on Spotify. We're not going away. Bye, Rick.
Bye, guys.
That's twisted.
Welcome to the Twist with Mark and Rick. Always fun, always clicking the best way. Here to stay.
That's twisted.
Images of just being all over the place.
Stay tuned.
Accessible to people of all different
Yeah, you
levels.
know it's time to start. Tune in, let's play our part. Coming to you from the heart. Entertainment.
That's twisted.